Look at the substitutes list too. Katie Dog? I don't have. I don't see him either. Can you just ping him to add one of us? Oh, well, I have him, but he's not online. There's 15. Yeah. I mean, that's what the thing says. No. There's like, what? How many drivers are signed up today? There's full grid, right? So we're missing 5. Online? Okay, I invited JDTV. Ka is in the lobby. I invited JD. Ask him to add you. My god, the game is slow today. Can you actually do a... oh, yeah, okay. No, never mind. I wanted to see if people can hear the music, and looks like Pablo just confirmed it in the chat, so... You know what's the worst part? When you have to put, like, music for the stream, but I can barely hear you. Like, I have to really focus to hear you. Oh, I haven't put spectate on, so it's actually 16 people. We need 4 more.
Oh,
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Contest of Speed. We are here today at COTA for the AM2 Championship Circuit of the Americas. I am Red Devil, and I'm joined by Zenki. Hey, Zenki, how you doing tonight?
good yourself. Already looking fairly interesting here as we're about to get started in the great state of Texas.
It's my lobby, so there's got to be rain. I don't know why it happens, but it does. So I'm praying for these guys tonight. Hopefully, given a good performance. But yeah, before we dive into the race and into qualifying, let's look at some like the driver standings. So after last week, Electric Blade is our new leader with 131 points, followed by Stubbly, who's out of the championship, unfortunately. Orlando, who's not going to be racing tonight, is P3 with 107, with Matt Duo in 83, followed by Mail in 69. For as for the constructors, we have Aston Martin with a 200 points, 35 point gap with the Red Bull. McLaren closely following them with 151 points. A battle for P4 is brewing with AlphaTauri, Haas, and Mercedes. And then we have Williams and Alpine along with Ferrari and P8 rounding out the bottom. So let's go back and head into qualifying.
Pablo, our first driver out on track, the AM3 reserve driver here in AM2, looking
Let's
to show out after a pretty good performance last night. I believe he took home P2, possibly even P1. Obviously, penalties and that kind of stuff. He's going to be looking to put in another good showing here at COTA.
Yeah, good race for him last week. I think he was having a good one. He looked set for the podium. I think I had an unfortunate moment, and that brought him down to, I think, P5. Uh, but yeah, I think he's having a great season with the AM3 and some good performances in AM2 as well. Let's
He'll
see.
have the practice in the rain as AM3. We were in the rain as well, not for qualifying, but for the race.
Yeah, he'll had some good practice for sure. And it looks like every driver who's coming out is on the wet, so definitely not intermediate conditions, that's for sure. We have him. I think he's followed by SR Frame. So yeah, I think let's go on board with Pablo once he starts. Did you feel comfortable in the rain yesterday, driving? Oh, as Pablo
Oh,
spins it. Oh, he's retired. Oh no. That is unfortunate. Uh,
well, what I was about to say is I actually quite enjoyed the rain last night. I thought I was able to keep up fairly good pace. Obviously not dry condition pace, but still aggressive the same way, just a gear or two down, a bit slower, but I felt fairly comfortable.
All right, let's go on board with SR Frame here with the first guy probably to cross the line. Misses, or no, he actually hits the apex fairly well there. Coming out of turn one, going into the S section. Um, this sector is famously known to mimic the Maggots and Beckett's part of the circuit from Silverstone, so really hard to nail this part as he's coming through the first sector time split. Didn't actually catch what it was, but looks fairly confident here. Decent exit out of those uphill left-hander coming into the long back straight. I think probably this is going to be the overtaking zone for the entire race. Probably if it's dry, it's going to be harder in the rain for sure, as he's coming down at the end of the long DRS straight. Goes down into second. shorts it up to third. Let's see what his sector split is. He's at 113.5, coming down to the long winding right before going out downhill left. I think probably this is turn 17, so he's going through, or this is turn 17. Now going through turn 18, fairly wide, going into turn 19. Goes down to fourth, goes up to fifth, coming down to the final corner. Important not to invalidate. Misses the apex a tiny bit, but crossing the line, it's a 151.2 at provisional pole.
Yeah, Kool-Aid Man and Fiverr following along to complete our next 2 laps as Kool-Aid goes 151.3, Fiverr 152.3. So they will fall in behind SR Frame there. Next across the line, I thought was going to be a Mercedes, but they may have possibly
No,
invalidated.
looked like the Mercedes was on the outlap, so let's see here. Who else? Is Matt on a outlap?
I believe we have
Yeah,
possibly an Aston Martin about to cross. It is, as Bandit goes 4th with a 152.4, Kane with a 158.3.
let's see
Possibly have
here.
our Ferraris coming. No, one of our Ferraris at
Yep.
least. That'll be Chaggerty putting in a 152.6, putting himself up to 5th. Death Storm, known for loving the rain, puts himself P3 at the moment with a 151.9.
As Big Mama Frank has invalidated, so we'll go on board with Aston Martin driver Matt Duo, who's about to cross the line here. Looks like a fairly good lap, and it is. It's provisional pole for the Aston Martin with the 156. That's about 8 tenths faster, 6 tenths faster than P2. I believe the next
Definitely
driver was Warren to cross the line. He did a 152.2.
slots in behind his teammate there. They'll both be looking to have a good race here in the rain if it does continue. You never know, we might be looking at a dry race. The drivers know. We don't, but the drivers do.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Fire Gap had a moment as Hood Kool-Aid Man improves his time with a 152. Let's go on board with his teammate though. He's about to go through the or no, the third sector here. Goes down, with the downhill left-hander. Pause. Going through into turn 19, about to go into turn 20. Believe he's on second gear, going up to third. Going across the line with a 154. Slots in behind his teammate with a 154.
Great lap from another Red Bull driver. They're going to be looking to stay up top there, 1-2, and further their lead in this constructors.
Cug goes P10 with a 152.4. Believe Deathstorm is about to start another lap. Let's see here. His teammate Warren is 2 tenths down on his first time. Not sure if anybody else is. A Big Mama Frank crosses the line, goes P8 as Matt Duo improves on his time with a 150.0. Let's see what E. Warren is able to do here as he goes wide and invalidates.
So far, one of our drivers at least, one of our other Alpine of the 3 not to set a lap yet, but is heading out of the pits onto his outlap. Benini, I believe on a hot lap, looking to boost himself up there in the Alfa Romeo. Oh! Slides a bit wide.
Interestingly,
Definitely
doesn't
gonna hurt the
invalidate.
time.
Oh, as he.
Speak of the devil.
Well, let's see here. Who's the next driver? Maybe a Fire Gab is the next one.
I will say it would appear a lot of our drivers in these conditions are just running a bit more fuel and would appear to be going 2 hot laps by the looks of it. Obviously, can't spend the battery like you would on a dry lap. It's a little wide there on P1. They'll keep it on track, however.
Also looks like the conditions are improving, so maybe time for the intermediates because the times are slowly starting to come down as well. As Cut is about to cross the line, I think it's not a hot lap, but he's about to start another one, maybe. Let's see here if anybody else is on a hot lap.
I believe Deathstorm just finished one or is starting one. Big Mama Frank is about to come across the line. He is down on his time.
51-1.
It is an improvement. Himself P4.
Still almost a second behind our provisional pole sitter, Matt Duo. Just shows what an incredible lap Matt was able to do there. As
As we say that, Spanini, purple sector 2, as he comes into the final set of turns here, looking to finally get a good time in. Hoping he can finish these last couple turns clean as he did get a little wide last time.
He is slipping and sliding though, so hopefully this time he's able to keep it together going through turn 19. He does.
Doesn't invalidate.
Oh, almost loses the car there as he puts in a 51-0 to put him P4 just ahead of Big Mama Frank. Let's see who else is on it.
Moving ahead here. Fragley has invalidated, so he'll probably be coming around. JDTV still yet to leave the pits to go set a time.
Is he in the lobby? Could you check if he needed an invite or something like that?
I haven't gotten any message. He has. Oddly enough, I can look through. We have one driver heading out on the intermediates in Bandute. JD also, while in the pits, does have the intermediates selected. FireGab has put on the intermediates.
Let's actually quickly look at the tire graphic.
Electric Blade on an outlap in the intermediates. Matt Duo throwing on the intermediates as well in the pits.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the conditions are improving, and I believe whoever is gonna cross the line last is probably gonna get the best chance of putting in putting the car on pole today.
Be safe. I did send JD an invite. I believe he's in here though. He's just
Yeah, I think
he
he's just
truthfully he might just be wanting to hold off as long as possible.
yeah. I just wanted to make sure, you know. But yeah, I think the drivers are starting to come out with the intermediate tires. As I believe no one's going to set a hot lap at the moment. So I believe also Electric Blade is going to be the first one. So let's go on board with him. Do you want to take us? Oh, wait a second here. There's an Aston Martin on the side. It looks like Bandute. He's on those intermediates. So
Trying to see. I don't see any damage, so it appears he's gonna get to start this lap clean, I guess.
we'll go on board with Electric Blade though. He's going through the first sector, the S section here. Let's see what his first sector's time is, if he's going to be up. He is actually matching his time on the wet, so maybe not, you know, intermediate weather just yet. But let's see. Sector 2, and especially Sector 3 is where you can gain the most time, I believe. As he's about to go on the back straight. Gets the power down pretty quickly. Very smooth coming out of that corner. Let's see. Yeah, I just choose to take a little bit of the curve, but not too much. Don't want the rain to throw your car away, as he is about 3/10, just shy of 3/10 up on his first sector, first time, or his best time.
Bandute putting in a good lap so far in the Aston Martin. Did have a little bit of a slip there at the start of the long DRS straight. Comes in, see how his Sector 2 time is looking.
As Electric Blade is fighting a lot with the car, as he elects to come back into the pits. He's not entirely happy with that lap, so he does abandon it. Maybe it's not intermediate. I'm not sure if he made the wrong call, but let's go on
Definitely
board as
interesting
Bandude
as
here.
everyone else on outlaps besides Deathstorm. It's only Deathstorm at the moment, I believe, still on the wets. Currently on track. Chaggerty is on the wets as he is 5/10 down on his Sector 2 time.
Bandude did improve, but he did set a purple Sector 3, so I don't know if oh, as E Warren goes
E.
P4.
Warren, a second, I think a second and a half improvement there out of the Williams driver.
But he is on the wets though, interestingly, and not on the intermediate tires.
His teammate about to come across the line, going to the final turn, also on the wets. Oh,
That's
no,
the first
that
turn.
was an Alpine. Yeah, that's
Uh, but
colorblind striking. Those blues will get you, okay?
as we'll, I think he's about to start the lap, so let's see if anybody is on a hot lap at the moment. Uh,
Also interesting to note that our provisional pole sitter at the moment did have the intermediates on in the pits, but opted for another set of wets here to go back out,
Interesting.
as we have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in qualifying.
Oh, as Firegap
Go!
has retired. Oh, let's see here. What happened to him? Let's one
That
go on.
looks like it's on the front straight.
Oh yeah, if you look at the left-hand side there, he's clobbered the wall there. Unfortunate for him. As we go on board with JD, sets a purple second sector, but that could be the glitch in the game where, it's his first lap, so he is on those intermediate tires. He's not set a lap, so let's see where it puts him in relation to some of the wet runners. Do you see anybody else on the inters improving at the
Uh,
moment?
I
As
don't. I don't think so at the moment. The only improvers I've seen have been on the wets by the looks of it, as Deathstorm has invalidated while being 6/10 up on his time.
as
He is
JD
going to have time to at least go around again.
as JD just puts it into P5. So I believe it's a mixed conditions at the moment, as Mad Duo is about half a second up on his time through the first sector, and he's on the wet. So maybe a wrong strategy call by a couple of others. As we see, Hood Kool-Aid Man invalidated. He's on an outlap. Electric Blade is still has come out on the intermediate tires. So hopefully, as Big Mama Frank goes provisional pole with a 149.3 on those intermediate tires.
This is definitely going to be interesting. It's one of those very similar to last night. We didn't know if you wanted to be on intermediates or slicks again. It would appear this qualifying is intermediates or wets, give or take. I guess it might just come down to personal preference, possibly. Setup. That duo, though, is putting in an absolute flyer here as he comes screaming into the final turn. Going to be looking to take back his provisional pole. I think he might do it. Going to be close. And he does by 2/10 with a 149.1.
And he does.
And in time to possibly go for another lap.
Yep, as Chase has invalidated, so he will start in P17. Let's see who else. We have Bandude who's coming in. He's not
That'll
been.
be his qualifying over. E. Warren qualifying done for him. Kane, I believe he just set that time, jumps up to P3 on the wets.
It's
He'll be looking to stay there.
crosses the line with a
Comes across.
51.5. P stays P14.
Be very interesting to see. Let me go see.
Deadstorm does not improve.
Frank is 2/10
As
improved so far
as
as
SR
he's coming through the
Frame
final 2 turns.
SR Frame goes P4 with a 49.6.
Oh! And Frank invalidates on the second to last turn. At the moment, it's looking like Matt Duo is going to have secured P1. I'd imagine he's going to let off a bit there as he was pushing on another outlap just in case.
As Electric Blade is about to cross the line with a
Oh!
149.84. 8 tenths faster than Matt Duo. Takes provisional pole.
And Matt Duo has invalidated.
As Hood Kool-Aid Man
We
is about 6 to 8 tenths faster on second sector. This is going to be interesting, folks. Will he be able to take pole position away from his teammate? As I believe Spanini is also going to cross the line. Uh, let's see where he
Yeah,
ends up.
keeps it on track.
Spanini goes
Final
P2.
turn.
Hood Kool-Aid Man takes pole position with a 48.3. I think the only driver Chaggerty goes into the pits. So yes, it is Hood Kool-Aid Man who takes pole position here in the Circuit of the Americas for AM2. Interesting qualifying there.
Definitely a lot of shakeups at the end there. Quickly try to run off here. Your pole sitter, Hood Kool-Aid Man, joining him on the front row will be his teammate, Electric Blade. Second row, we're going to have Spanini and Matt Duo. Third row, Big Mama Frank and Kane. Following that will be SR Frame and Fragley. We got the Williams of E. Warren, and then Chaggerty in the Ferrari. Following that to round out the top 10. After that, we're going to have JD. Aw, didn't have enough time. I'll finish it off real quick once I get this menu brought up.
That's why I
Wasn't
always wait.
fast enough.
That's why I always wait for the race director.
I got the top 10 in. Let's try. All right, let's see here. In 11, JD TV, 12, Fiverr, 13th, Bandit, 14th, Deathstorm, 15th, Ka, 16th, Fire Gab, 17th, Chase, and rounding us out after an unfortunate end to his qualifying on his very first outlap, Pablo.
You can really see from this tire graphic here, very mixed, color compounds. The top three on the intermediates, Matt Duo on the wets. So it was, you know, where you get to a stage in the rain where it's always between the inters and wets. I believe it was that. At the end, I think Hood Kool-Aid Man and Electric Blade just started the lap at the last moment, and that's why they were able to get pole position, as it is sunny here on race day. Sun is shining. No sign of clouds or rain. Should be an interesting one. Would be interesting to see what kind of setups everybody chose to run as well, you know? Did everybody go for that drive setup knowing that it's going to be dry in the race? Or, you know, probably people have gone for mixed setups too. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the race for sure. Who do you think is going to win? Zenki.
Oh, I don't know. I just for the fun, I'm going to go with Pablo on a last to first. Going on a whim. Put it down. That's
Well,
my bet.
I think it's gonna be between the Red Bull boys, for sure. I'm gonna give it to Hood. He's back racing and he's looking quick, so I'm gonna give it to Hood. As 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go. No, away we go. As Electric Blade gets a really good start, uh, has the inside line going into turn one, but Hood Kool-Aid Man puts the car on the outside and keeps the lead. Let's see. Oh! The Williams just. Did you see that? The Williams of Warren was all over Fiverr. Not sure what was happening there. I don't know if it
I
was
hear
up.
JDTV is our biggest loser there out of whatever happened.
Oh, I believe it was JDTV then. Warren and JD coming together. I don't know if that was appropriate for television or not, but it really looked like two people were on top of each other. Oh,
As we have an AlphaTauri and an Aston Martin.
that was a lunge if I've ever seen one. But he does get the
Doesn't-
position though.
Not seeing any damage either.
As I believe Spunini is going for the lead here on the outside, but he does manage to keep the position, does Hood Kool-Aid Man, as we quickly go through the
Oh,
tire graphics.
a little bit of a backup there in the back. Seeing a lot of softs and mediums.
Yeah, only
Not
two
very many.
people on the hards, that is Bandu and Ka. Uh, and like you said, a lot of people on the mediums, for top two on the mediums. Electric Blade will definitely be looking to make a few positions on those soft tires. As Matt Duo, our race winner last time, is going to pit. I believe he does have damage after coming in contact with Big Mama Frank.
It would appear, I think he took damage in the last sector, because at least it would appear he didn't have any from Big Mama Frank. I'm going to quickly look to see. No, it's just a tire change, no damage. He's just sending it to the hards.
That,
Interesting call.
or he maybe forgot to, do that, check that option where you have to manually change the wings, I guess. Sometimes the game does not do that for you.
I do know, reading our Discord chat, it appear people did ready up a bit too fast, so he may have wanted to start on the hards all along. As we do have a caution.
I believe, I don't know if it was Pablo, but he has fallen back to the, well, penultimate position, I want to say. Let's see, going back to the top, Hood Kool-Aid Man does keep the lead behind, or ahead of Spinini. Electric Blade is closely following them with on P3 with Big Mama Frank on those soft tires behind them with P4. SR
As
Frame
Chase
is having a good race
makes a
too.
move on Kuh.
That Storm gets a couple of positions.
Oh, we got a little squirrely back there with the AlphaTauri and an Alpine. It's going to cost them a position down to 10th.
I believe Kane, does he have damage? Because he lost a lot of positions there. Uh, and he's going to lose another one to the Haas of Chase.
It
Oh,
was close.
yeah,
I didn't see any damage. Possibly just a slip, maybe a bad line.
as Chase
He is
sends
going to
it,
lose it into turn 1.
a good move there down the inside, gets the move done on Kane. Does the Haas driver Chase. As we go back to the top here, Hood Kool-Aid Man is opening up a lead as we have our first victim of track limits. Fiverr gets a 3-second time penalty. Let's see here. Williams boys doing well. Let's go back. Not a lot of battles. Oh! As Deathstorm sends it on his teammate. Not sure if that was a strategy call there, but he does decide to take over. And he does have DRS as well. This will have Warren vulnerable to Fraggly, who locks up.
Definitely appears. I do know already here at COTA you run fairly high wings. But appear. Oh, as Fiverr gets a little loose there. These boys are still putting down pretty solid times regardless of that rain in qualifying. I think a lot of them just kept their setups as Chase. I seen that. Falls victim to the track limits. Only 6 penalty seconds total, though. Did we have an over-under this race?
Yes, we did. I believe we increased it to 42.5, I want to say. Over
Yeah, I
42.
wonder why you guys did that.
Well, last two races it's always been over, so we wanted to have a little bit of a mystery, I want to say. As we focus on the top four, they're still going single file, all within a second of each other.
May
Interesting
or may
though.
not have had 9 seconds worth of that last night, so I did my part.
Well, you sure helped out whoever did the predictions. As Spunini is. Oh, are we seeing a little bit of a DRS game here? Or not sure, but Hood Kool-Aid Man has dropped 2 positions going into the long DRS straight. And he's
Might
possibly.
cost him another.
Yeah, not sure if he has damage. Doesn't appear to be. Might just be some DRS games going on, which is weird for lap 4. as he does go inside, down the inside of his teammate and takes back P2. Huh, that was
Interesting
unfortunate.
move.
As
He is
Deathstorm,
on the mediums, surrounded by softs, it would look like. Maybe trying to just preserve him a bit more. As Fragley, our third victim. Both Alpines now with 3 seconds.
as Deathstorm is making moves here, he's into top five. Warren gets loose there. I saw that on the background, but he does maintain uh, P7. He's hunting down SR Frame. Uh, just a
SR
second and a bit.
frame right on his diffuser, though, as we're about to come down the front straight. Going to be looking to take that position back.
Deathstorm is on those soft tires, so he will have the traction going in. But how long will those soft tires be good? Think probably another lap or two, and then the medium should start coming into play.
We definitely know all of our drive with that wet qualifying. Everyone's going to have max softs. I don't. It'd be. We might could try to
Oh,
pull off a soft to medium.
a-
Most likely the play for a lot of our drivers here.
as Chase gets his
But
second 3-second time penalty. Sorry to cut you off there. Looking at the back here, Kane looking to make some moves. He's he's a driver who's lost a lot of positions. He was up in what P5, P6, and is now down in P13. He's looking to make the move on Fragley. Gets the move done well before going into the corner. As there's a dive, JD, a big dive down into turn 12. I want to say turn 11, but
that's turn. It's one of those.
yeah, he unsuccessful though. He does manage to get Fragile. Let's see, going.
Quickly looking through kind of our top 5 to 6. A lot of battery being spent. Our leader with the most out of the top 3. Deathstorm dwindling almost to the single digits with Frame just hunting them down right now. Not even wasting battery as he is going to go for the move here down into turn 1.
Kane.
He backed out.
Kane has had a
Oh,
moment, and that brings out the safety car. He has no front wing. Not sure what happened to the Alfa Romeo driver. Mad Duo has taken the opportunity to pit, though. Smart move from the Aston Martin driver. Let's see what he chooses to put on. I think he's going for the mediums.
I
And
imagine
now
he's
he's
bringing them back.
look at that. He is changing his wing right now. So like I said, he probably forgot to toggle that button. When you have like the minor damage, it doesn't do
The
that.
auto doesn't work
Yeah.
all the time. Oh, and from bad to worse as Kane takes a 3-second. Trying to just lug that wingless car around the track. Definitely not easy, especially on a track where you're running almost max front wing, arguably. I know I ran 49.
Yeah.
That duo is going to be looking to maybe play a little bit of Delta chicken, trying to gain as much as he can. He could jump a heavy chunk of the field. As I say that, he slams on the brakes. Definitely trying to get as much time back as he possibly can
It'll be interesting to
whilst not
see
speeding.
what the Red Bull guys do though at the top, even the Williams, because they're close to each other. And do they even pit though? I believe the Softs runners will definitely pit. Uh, Hood Kool-Aid
Fire
Man
Gab.
is going into the pit. So is Spanini. So is Blade and Mama Frank.
I think we're gonna see Ka and Bandut stay out. Our 2 hard runners. I think it's in their best interest to stay out. As they speak of as I say that, Ka dives into the pits as well. Everybody is diving into the pits. Well, there goes my prediction of our hard runners staying out. Almost no. Oh,
As
interesting.
we do have a change in the top three, though. Big Mama Frank is able to take the position off of Electric Blade in the pit stops.
As do the double stack Be interesting here, seeing as Matt Duo comes around the final turn, if he's gonna stay. Looking like he might stay in last. He's burning battery at the moment, trying to gain as much time as he can.
No, he does not come ahead of
Anybody.
Kane. Unfortunate, but he's still at the back of the pack. He will be looking to make the moves, and then he'll probably look to put on the set of softs for the end of the race. He'll probably take this set of tires to probably I want to say lap 19, 20, and then have a bit of a dash uh, to the end.
I think we're going to be seeing that from a lot of our drivers, as I'll say half of our grid is on the hards. I'm going to say between 19 and 21 is going to be when we might start seeing guys dive in. Maybe a few going for undercuts onto mediums to finish out the race. But with a wet qualifying and having so many soft tires still available at their disposal, I think they're going to be pushing it to try and have the freshest tires possible at the end.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the tire graphic here on screen. That Spanini has chosen to put on a set of softs. So he definitely will need to stop again in this race. Not necessarily Hood, Kool-Aid Man, Big Mama Frank, Electric Blade, and Deathstorm, even Frame and Fiverr as well. They'll be
I think
looking to.
Spanini is going to be looking to try and get past Kool-Aid Man as fast as possible. Put
Yeah,
those soft tires to use.
definitely. And the pit lane is not that long here in COTA, so he even if there's no safety cars, he could make this two-stop strategy work. But in order to do that, he needs to get past Hood Kool-Aid Man as fast as possible, and also pray that Hood, Electric Blade, Big Mama Frank, Deathstorm, they all start fighting, because if they do, that's going to help him get away, build that gap even more, and then when he comes in and puts on a set of softs or mediums to the end of the race, he'll be able to make up that time as quick as possible and get that win that he's looking for. At least that's what I think he is thinking of doing. Well,
Definitely, I'm excited to see what we're about to have happen.
yeah, for sure. Any prediction stat? Do you think this two-stopper from Spanini is gonna work? Will be interesting to see what everybody else thinks. Yes, I think the safety car should be in this lap. Uh, Also, I think in the world of Formula One, we have China today after I think about 2, 3 years, 4 years. We're heading back to China, so it'll be an interesting Grand Prix for sure. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be a Max Verstappen dominated show, or some of the other drivers have a chance to get that victory?
Lance Stroll masterclass incoming.
Sure.
No Canadian biased at all.
Of course not. Uh, as big news coming out of Formula One too, Fernando Alonso extends his contract up until 2026, I believe, with Aston Martin. So that's a positive move for. I mean, it's a good thing he's staying there because I don't think he believes Mercedes are gonna challenge anyway. So I think that's probably the best option for him, to be honest. As we look to go back racing again, the safety car is coming in. As Hood Kool-Aid Man, I believe, uh is off. So I am going to disable this. And yes, we are underway. Looks like everybody's has come out single file. No real incidents to talk about. The top six have definitely uh, had the better start. Fiverr is holding up the back of Cut and Chase and everybody else, as Spunini does indeed make a move on Hood Kool-Aid Man.
A bold pass, if I do say. Not exactly where you would imagine making a move on someone, but he's seen it, and He's going to put those soft tires to use, as he has set a purple sector 1.
As the top three are definitely leaving Electric Blade behind a little bit. Deathstorm having a
Be
good
interesting.
race.
Benini dumping the battery. He is wanting to get as far away as possible from this pack of hard runners behind him.
As Chase gets another 3-second time penalty. I believe that's 9 seconds overall for the Haas driver. As he
We
does
got
make a move though on JD. He's trying to make a move at least.
Spanini already has broken that 1 second interval to Kool-Aid Man behind him. I do know when I quickly look, Kool-Aid Man though has not used a lick of battery. He might just be letting Spanini go. He's just going to race his race on these hards.
As Matt Duo is definitely starting to make his moves up 2 positions to P16. Next up is E. Warren. Not sure what happened, but he is down in P15 at the moment. He was running well. I believe he was in the top 10.
Ka making a move on the Alpine Fiverr, going to jump himself up into 7th. I believe he started P15, so already a sizable jump for him.
SR Frame sticking to the back of Deathstorm here. They've been, together
Kind
for
of gapped.
they've been together for the entire race. SR Frame sticking to the back of him like a clingy girlfriend or something like that.
Oddly enough, Electric Blade already down to 30% battery. Everyone in front of him, the sizable amount still left. Kool-Aid Man has gotten himself back within that second at least. He's definitely going to be looking to keep that, try to utilize the DRS as best as he can. Only going to help his tires compared to Spanini's.
As we look at Pablo, he's making his moves through the field. He's up into P11 as Mad Duo is gifted with a 3-second time penalty.
From bad to worse for the Aston Martin driver there. It's not his day here in Texas.
As we see Bandute all over the back of Fragley. Let's see if he can make a move on the Alpine driver. He is blinking though.
DRS going to be enabled.
Spanini has managed to pull up over a second of Hood Kool-Aid Man. As Bandute tries to go down the inside. He has to settle for P13 as Mad Duo is now behind his teammate. He's looking for a switch back there, Bandute. Trying to go down the inside of the Alpine driver. They're going to go side by side through the S's. He's trying everything to make the move and does not work. Let's see here who we got. Big Mama Frank sticking to the back of Hood Kool-Aid Man. Hood Kool-Aid Man is not far off of the DRS as Punini has a big moment coming out of, I want to say turn 7 or 8 going into the DRS zone. That brings Hood Kool-Aid Man back inside the 1 second mark.
Big for Mama Frank as well, as Kool-Aid didn't have the DRS, so that slip-up does help him at least catch back up momentarily, but Spanini already breaking DRS. Those softs have definitely heated up and are putting in work to get away.
SR Frame going past Deathstorm here from at the end of the DRS straight up into P5. Cut is all over the back of Deathstorm right now. He's on the better medium tires, so he'll be looking to make the move on the Williams driver going into turn 1. Deathstorm does have the DRS though. I believe it's going to come down to whoever has more battery.
On the inside goes Ka.
A good clean move there from the Ferrari driver, but oh, they're going side by side. He does keep the position though. Bit naughty there from the two drivers, but Cut is able to make the move and is still within a second of SR Frame, so he will be looking to make the move on the McLaren going into I believe turn 10 or 11.
It's going to be interesting here as we head into the second DRS straight. I did see that Kool-Aid Man broke a second gap to Big Mama Frank, and it was in time for the detection zone. The top three, it's all just going to come down to tires and setup and racing. As that being said, Mama Frank has clawed back within DRS. I imagine running a bit lower wings there compared to Kool-Aid Man, better straight line speed.
As we see, Cut does make the move on SR frame, but he does go wide, but he's able to keep the position and is in P5. Interestingly enough, Electric Blade has dropped back and is now 2.5 seconds off the leaders. So not sure if it's setup related or if his tires are not up to temperature enough, but he is losing ground to the top three.
Not a lot of battery left for him either. He's just going to be looking to, as Cuz also burning to try and stay ahead of SR Frame. Frame has set himself up nicely here, put on an attack as Cuz dwindling with 17% compared to Frame's 50.
Mad Duo definitely on the charge here. He's up in the P11 all over the back of Pablo Playas in the Haas. He's in the final points playing positions as JDTV falls victim through to the track limits, gets a 3-second time penalty. Let's see here. The top three are now within a second, so Hood Kool-Aid Man could try and make the move on the Alfa Romeo driver here, going into, I
It'd
don't
be
know.
interesting to see if the AlphaTauri maybe tries to go get a twofer. They're all going to stay single file at the end of the DRS straight.
As SR Frame makes a move on Cut, going in at the end of the DRS zone, going into P5.
That duo makes the move on Pablo well before the turn, taking the final points position. He does have that penalty though, so in Pablo's case, truthfully, he just has to stay within the three in front of him, and he could be looking at 8th.
Well, what tires is Pablo on? Is Pablo on? He's on the
Mediums.
mediums, right? Okay, he might need to pit again as well as we have yellows. I believe it's Kane again. Not sure what happened. Let's see if he's missing any part of his wing. Looks attached to me. So
Not seeing anything.
now,
Interesting as we have an Alfa Romeo in first and one in last.
the field is sandwiched between the two alphas. As Hood Kool-Aid Man was all over the back of Spanini. He's just able to break that gap going through those S's, but the Red Bull driver does have DRS going into turn 9, so we'll be looking to see if he can make the move. Big Mama Frank is close enough as well, so
All over the back of that Red Bull.
he might try and go make it 3 wide going into that turn. Let's see here as Hood Kool-Aid Man dives down the inside of the Alfa Romeo, and they're going side by side into the next corner. Spanini does have the inside. He does keep the position, but Hood Kool-Aid Man with a switchback. He has to make the move going around the outside.
Oh my.
They
I
may,
didn't see any contact. It looked like Spanini may have just slipped a bit.
now Big Mama Frank is all over the back of the Alfa Romeo. He I believe he did not have any room. Oh, Big Bomber Frank though is going down the inside of the Alfa Romeo driver, going into turn 20, and he does complete the move. He does have DRS. Will he take on the Red Bull of Hood Kool-Aid Man? No, he does decide to keep the position and stays P2. This has gone like not how Spunini would have planned though. Going into this round of pit stops, he would have wanted a sizable lead, but he's now down in P3 with what 14 laps to go, and he has to make another pit stop. That set of softs is not gonna go till the end.
Yeah, with 13 laps left, I think the play for him might be pitting now and going for a set of mediums.
He could do another run on the
Those
softs though.
softs look to be falling off fast. He could go for the softs again, but would they last the 12 laps?
Yeah, as we see the battle at the front, Electric Blade is slowly catching them up as well. So, he might be in with a shout come the end of the race, but SR Frame now is able to hold off and Deathstorm. JD, I believe, is closing in. Mad Duo as well, making a comeback. He is catching up to Chase in P9. Remember, P8, 9, and 10 do have penalties, so Pablo is in line for some good points here.
Pablo just hanging out behind Matt there,
Yeah, Matt does
looking to
have
play
the
it smart.
Matt does have the pace, so if he can stick to the Aston Martin, he will be able to get the positions. As Cut goes in for a pit stop, I believe he's gonna put on a set of softs, or no, it looks like another set of the medium compound tires for the Ferrari driver.
Interesting enough, Spanini does opt to stay out. I think he might be going for another set of softs when the time comes.
Will be
Sometimes I
interesting.
really wish we could see tire wear percentage.
I believe are if you stick to a driver long enough, it will show you. But we want to be able to look at multiple drivers and see what's happening throughout the grid. So you know, is what it is. Oh, we have yellows. I think it's Fragley. It looks like he's got the car back on track. No visible damage on the Alpine, so no safety cars as well. As Spunini, Big Mama Frank, and Hood Kool-Aid Man are still fighting it out for the lead.
Matt Duo gets the move done on Chase there for P8. Pablo seemingly fell behind a little bit by the looks of it. Still at least within DRS of his Haas teammate. Matt Duo looks to be on a charge, however, though.
As
Trying to get as
Chase
far
gets
up as
an
Chase picks up another penalty.
interesting to see how much penalties he has because I think he has about 12 seconds. 15.
Oh,
Oh my God. Well, unfortunate for him. As an Haas is coming into the pits. I believe it's Chase. Let's see
he
what. Yeah,
might be calling it a day there.
I think he's coming in for a new set of softs or mediums. No, he's going for a set of mediums though to the end of the race. He believes he can get some points. Spunini, however, is choosing to stay out. Not sure how long he's going to stick with those set of tires. They must be screaming right now as Deathstorm is all over the back of SR Frame.
It's looking like that's our biggest battle at the moment. Not a lot going on everywhere else as Pablo is not even close to Matt Duo. Sizable gap between Matt and JD. SR Frame and Deathstorm are really and obviously our top three, but other than that, pretty spread out field.
Will be interesting to see how many positions Cut is able to make up before the end of the race. He was on P5, I believe, battling with SR Frame and Deathstorm P5, P6. Now he's down in P14, but he's closing in on Fiverr and Ewarren quickly. He made up about a second just in the middle sector alone.
Spanini staying out again.
I'm thinking he
I have to
just wants
imagine those
to.
softs are screaming.
I think he just wants to stick to the back of these guys because he has DRS, and then wait for a gap to build up because I believe some of the drivers behind him are going to pit, and then he'll be looking to come out, in fresh air, clean air, and oh no,
Oh,
Hood Kool-Aid Man gets a 3-second time penalty. This makes the race awful lot interesting as Big Momo Frank now just has to stick behind the Red Bull driver in order to get the win.
that would drop him all the way from first.
As
Oh,
Fire Gap,
fire gab.
I believe he's retired in the pits.
No, I believe by the
Uh,
looks of it, that would appear so.
yeah, I think it's in the
Maybe.
pits. Yeah, I don't see any carnage on the track, so yeah, and no safety car as well. So I think we're good.
I think what's going to be interesting is it's definitely. I think battery and your ERS is definitely going to start playing coming into play here towards the end as going through our top five. There's maybe like two drivers with anywhere close to
Oh,
even half
oh,
battery as SR Frame and Deathstorm having a bit of a moment. The end of that end of that DRS straight.
oh! These guys
Doesn't
have been
appear like
naughty
any
all
damage.
race. Oh, Deathstorm
Ooh.
throws his car down the inside, makes contact with the McLaren, pushes him off track, but he is able to keep the position as JD looks to capitalize on this battle. He's all over the back of SR Frame. Will be interesting to see how this goes down going into turn one.
And Spanini taking the opportunity here. He is going to pit now. I'll stay on board, see if we're opting for new softs. And he is. He's going soft to soft. Definitely proved he had pace there at the start of the race. Gonna be looking to gain as much as he can. I think he's gonna be coming out around the P11 mark.
Looks like
P9 actually.
it's not too bad, you know. He could make his way up into the top four,
Big
maybe.
Mama Frank getting a move done on Kool-Aid Man. Maybe playing the DRS game again, letting them get by.
I think he wants to
He
bring
is
his teammate into play here, slowing down Big Mama Frank. So at least one of the Red Bull drivers get the victory tonight. But
Big Mama Frank's gonna send it down the inside, playing a bit of defense there. Kool-Aid Man right on his diffuser though. See if SR Frame looks to make a move on Deathstorm down the inside. They were getting a bit chippy through this final Sector 3 section last lap.
as Cut is making the moves, he is in P10 at the moment. He was behind SR Frame and Deadstorm here. He's now about what? Only 4, 5, 6 seconds, 7 seconds behind JDTV with 9 laps to go. So I think he can make, get this tire to the end and get P4 if he plays his cards
As
right.
JDTV dives into the pits.
Warren gets a 3-second time penalty as well.
It's interesting. At the moment, Kool-Aid Man would still secure a podium as the top three have built a sizable gap to Deathstorm down there in P4. It might just be about bringing those two cars home. Maybe seeing if he can help Electric Blade get by him and go for a win, battle out with Big Mama Frank. But at the end of the day, Kool-Aid Man's just going to be trying to keep that 3-second gap as best he can. As Chase another penalty.
My God, that's like what 18 seconds for him.
This man bet the over. This guy bet the over for sure.
I hope the game doesn't disqualify him. As
Here, I'll do a quick count for us.
let's see here. No other drivers, believe, is close. Bandu looking to make a move on Pablo. He's
So what was our over under?
42
What was the
point.
number?
So 42.5. So
We're at 48 right now. So
uh,
the over has hit.
wow. Even after increasing the time, we weren't able to beat it. We were all easily able to beat it. So Hoot Kool-Aid Man dives into the pits, I believe, for a set of softs.
Interesting move. This is again where I wish I could see the tire wear percentage because I would like to think as he is going to go for a set of mediums. I think that was.
Let me see here.
I think
Yeah, he's on a set of mediums.
you think with that penalty he'd want to keep the gap he had to Deathstorm, who's going to move up to P3 now. That duo sets the fastest lap. Spanini all the way back up into P4 as he gets the move done on SR Frame. Those softs are alive.
He is about 10 seconds, 11 seconds behind Electric Blade and a further 3 seconds behind Big Mama Frank. So, and he has about 7 laps to close it. I don't know if he can, but it might be close though. I wouldn't just.
I agree. I think it's going to be really close as he is all over the back of Deathstorm here.
Yeah, he's gonna
Giving,
get.
giving that diffuser a little smooch. They are going to go side by side down this whole DRS straight. Deathstorm already blinking, just going to concede that position.
There's no point finding that for Deathstorm, but one thing he can do is try and get the DRS. Oh well, it's gonna be hard for him, but he has opened up the gap to the McLaren of SR Frame, so I think that's gonna help him keep the top five for sure. As we see, K in the Ferrari is now just 3.5, 4 seconds behind SR Frame, so he's definitely caught up uh, to Deathstorm and SR Frame, so he's going to be looking to make the move with 6 laps to go.
Kool-Aid Man on those fresh mediums is going to be looking to keep that 3 to 4 second gap he has on K. As Hood Kool-Aid Man is going to make the move on SR Frame. That's going to be about going to be about how many positions can he make up on his penalty.
Well, he needs to pass Deathstorm and Spanini if he wants to keep the podium and open up a 3 second gap to Spanini. But Spanini is catching Electric Blade though. Just through the first sector, he's caught up about 6 tenths. It's 7.9 now, so it's going to be interesting to see what the gap is at the end of the lap. 2 sectors with 2 sectors remaining. As
Again, I think it's going to come down to the ERS here. As many of our drivers are burning, trying to catch up as Hood Kool-Aid Man does get the move done on Deathstorm. Big Mama Frank, though, hanging out there up in P1 with 52%. And a sizable gap to P2. Just 6 laps remaining. Looking to take home this win in the AlphaTauri.
not a lot of battles going on at the moment, as we see Pablo is probably the closest driver within
Kool-Aid
DRS.
already breaking a 2 second gap to Deathstorm. The fresh tires proving as he does set the fastest lap. Starting to think those hard runners are definitely starting to feel it.
Yeah, Spanini in 2 sectors alone was able to close up to a second within Electric Blade. He crossing the line, it was about 6.9. Let's see how much the gap is at the end of his lap, but he's already caught up about half a second going through the first sector. And Hood
It'll be
Kool-Aid Man
interesting
is
as
catching
well.
him as well, so yeah.
I think Kool-Aid Man is in a pretty good spot. Fresher tires. He's on the mediums to Spanini's softs. It's gonna be just gonna come down to how fast Spanini's softs die off, on if he'll be able to secure podium with that penalty.
One driver who's been on the charge for the race has been Matt Duo. After an unfortunate start, he was down in last position, and he's now fighting with the Ferrari of Cut to move up into P7 and dives down the inside, gets the move done. He's up into P7. He does have a penalty though, so will be interesting to see if he can get SR Frame and Deathstorm here.
Interesting to see as well. Pablo, surrounded by penalties, but is on the softs. Gonna be looking to try. He's definitely got at least P10, considering Chase has, I think, 18 seconds worth of penalties.
I think Spanini has been able to close up about 2 seconds to Electric Blade going into this lap. He was about 3.9, sorry, 6.9 starting the lap, and he finished up about 5. So he's able to, he's I think 1.9 seconds faster than the top two at the moment. Yeah, Hood.
Kool-Aid also gaining on Spanini and has already negated his penalty easily to Deathstorm. As the two of them, Kool-Aid Man has actually pulled within DRS now of Spanini. Gonna get
Oh,
interesting.
as Mad Duo sends it down the inside of SR Frame, gets the move done, and Cut is all over the back of the McLaren as well as JD, looking to dive down the inside from the AlphaTauri, but does I think wisely and decides to keep
Kool-Aid
P9.
is gonna go for the inside. Go to the inside of Spanini and gets the move done.
Well,
I don't know what kind of setup Kool-Aid Man has, but my God, those hards are flying.
he's on the mediums.
Oh, my bad. That is correct.
as
Those
Ke,
hard are the mediums.
as Ke gets a 3-second time penalty. Well, the interesting thing is, Spanini is already over a second off of Hood Kool-Aid Man. So Hood Kool-Aid Man is flying. He needs he is about 3.5 seconds off of his teammate now. It'll be interesting to see if Electric Blade does concede the position, because if he does, he's gonna want to catch Big Mama Frank and build up a 3-second gap. Not sure if he has enough laps to be able to do that, but for him to do that, he shouldn't be fighting with his teammate though. As Cut,
Interesting though as well. Kool-Aid and Spanini both blinking. It really is just gonna come down to tires at this time.
yeah, it
Big,
would
Big
be
Mama Frank is sitting with a healthy 40% ERS. He's gonna dump a bit of it just to start the straight. Blade 21, Kool-Aid 12, Spanini single digits, burning to try and catch up.
Mad Duo catching Deathstorm here at a rapid pace. He's now within DRS. Not sure if he got it this lap, but he is also blinking though, so will be interesting to see how much of a gap he's able to build up once he's passed the Williams driver. Strong showing from him though tonight, as SR Frame is
SR.
unfortunately dropping.
Oh, and Spanini with a 3-second. It's almost, but secured. Kool-Aid Man, he might take it a bit easier now.
Yeah,
For these
definitely.
next 2 laps, secure himself
Oh!
that podium.
Oh, he
A little
almost
squirrely there as we.
Yeah, was just about to say he almost lost the car there, but is able to keep traction and try and catch his teammate. He's about a second, 1.1. He'll be looking to get the gap down to under a second before the DRS zone, because
Might be looking at a bit of a battle between our two AM3 reserve drivers here. Pablo SR Frame going into T1. Pablo is going to send it down the inside. SR Frame, though, sticking right to the back of that diffuser. His hards are crying.
as we saw Mad Duo and Deathstorm going at it, he does gets the move done on the Williams driver. We'll see if Hood Kool-Aid Man is able to pass his teammate as Chase gets another 3-second time penalty. Oh, and Electric Blade does concede the position. Smart thinking there from the Red Bull drivers. He needs to let Hood Kool-Aid Man through to get the win. He has about 2 laps after this.
Chase has half of the over-under time
Uh,
alone by himself. Well, he has 21 seconds. The over-under was 42 and a half. I call it half.
well, with the amount of penalties that he has, if he finished first, he might drop down to P15 at this time, even if he finished first, which is crazy to think. As we look at the top two, Hood Kool-Aid Man is closing in. He'll be looking to get the cap down to under a second before the DRS zone, ideally, but it's going to be hard as we have Sector 3 yellows. I think it's Kane again. Yeah.
Doesn't appear to have any damage. Taking it as just a spin there. Again, unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo driver.
What's
Of course,
interesting? Sorry.
Pablo gets the move done on his teammate, jumping up into 9th. Not like it would truthfully matter too much, as teammate has 21 seconds worth of penalties.
what's interesting though is Panini is not closing in on Electric Blade at the moment, so Electric Blade is looking good for a P3 finish here. And as we look at Hood Kool-Aid Man on the charts, he's about a second and a half. So I believe it's gonna be too much for him to make the move, as well as get a 3 second gap over Big Mama Frank. But you never know what's gonna happen, you know. As we head into the final lap, JD looking to make the move on Matt Duo here. Gets the move done, moves himself up into P5. Cut makes the move on Deathstorm, gets P7. But remember, all the drivers ahead of Deathstorm do have penalties. So if he sticks behind Cut here, he's gonna get at least, I think, P5. As Big Mama Frank starts the final lap of the race, he does have a 1.3 second gap over Hood Kool-Aid Man. He must be feeling really good right now. Going into the X section, Hood Kool-Aid Man, if he wants the victory on track, needs to be within a second. Going into the DRS zone, Mad Duo is also close behind JD, but he's unable to make the move on the AlphaTauri. Looks like it's gonna be only P4 for Spinini here. Let's see who else is close. Pablo is close behind Deathstorm, whose tires must be crying right now. Hood Kool-Aid Man is under a second of Big Mama Frank. Let's see if he does make the move as JD gets another 3 second time penalty. No, he is unable to make the move going into the at the end of the DRS straight. So I believe Big Mama Frank might get the win on track. Although Hood Kool-Aid Man is looking to send it going into the final set of corners, but
My
no.
goodness, that was close.
I thought you just disappeared there, Zenki. But as we go into the last two turns here, looks like AlphaTauri is going to get the win on track. Bit of weaving, but the AlphaTauri of Big Mama Frank wins the race here with Hood Kool-Aid Man finishing in P2. Electric Blade finishes P3 with Spanini in P4, and then a big gap to the rest of the field. 5 seconds or 11 seconds back down to JD, who finishes in P5 with the Aston Martin of he moves up into P6. Cut in P7. Let's see where Deathstorm ends up. He is P7 with Chase finishing P10, but I'm thinking he's not gonna keep that position as Chaggerty finishes P10, SR Frame P11, Bandute in 12. Let's see where Warren ends up. He's about to cross the line here. He does end up P14. So Chase finishes down in P13. Warren P14, Kane 15, Fiverr 16, and Fragley in P17, with Fire Gap being only retirement in P18. Very interesting race there. A lot of to do with strategy. At the end, Hood Kool-Aid Man with that 3 second time penalty took the risk of pitting again, but yeah, although he did try to make the move at the end, Big Mama Frank was able to hold him off to claim the victory on track. But the Red Bull duo of Electric Blade and Hood Kool-Aid Man managed to secure P2 and P3, and I believe they now close the gap to Aston Martin. Uh, I'm not sure if they took over in the constructors, but I believe it's very close. What did you think of the
I would
race,
just like
Zenki? Yeah, sorry.
shout out to Pablo, driver of the day. I know he was my pick for a win, but he did manage to at least secure, I believe, sixth all the way from last. So shout out to Pablo. That's my guy. AM3. Stand together.
Uh,
Also shout out to SR Frame.
as we look at the penalties and everything. If you could invite the top three into the VC for the interviews, I'll go through the results. As We have the final results here in the Texas Grand Prix in Circuit of the Americas. Big Mama Frank takes the win with Hood Kool-Aid Man in P2 and the fastest lap as well. His teammate Electric Blade in P3 with Spanini in P4. Matt Duo in P5 with Pablo and another fantastic race from AM3 here in P6. Death Storm in P7 with Cut in P8. JD in P9 with Chaggerty finishing rounding out the points in P10. SR Frame in P11, Bandute in 12, Chase with 21 seconds of penalties in 13 with Warren in 14, Kane in 15, Fiverr in 16, Fraggle in 17, and Fire Gap, the only DNF of the race, in P18. As we go into the interview part, wait a second.
We have one. The other two should be joining.
What did you think of the race, Senki, overall? It was an interesting one, right? Qualifying was interesting with the wet weather coming into play, and then at the end there with the race, it was all about strategy. A couple of people going for the two stops, a couple of guys going for the one stop strategy. Uh, it worked out for a few. I think Matt Duo had a fantastic comeback with the two stopper. Worked out for Big Mama Frank as well. With only one stop, managing to get that win. So yeah, overall, I thought it was a good race of strategy. What did you think?
Only one safety car. I thought it was a great race. The boys kept it pretty clean. A lot of good battles there. Maybe a little bumping and rubbing, but rubbing is racing, no matter the car. So I thought, all in all, it was a great night here in AM2, and
Well, you
on
uh,
to the
you loved
interviews we go.
well, you love to see a little bit of bumping, you know. It's not racing without cars coming together and colliding a little bit. But yeah, moving ahead into the interview portion, we have our top three here. First up, let's go over to our P3 finisher, Electric Blade. Electric Blade, how are you doing?
Doing good.
How do you think the race was? Qualifying was interesting, I thought, with uh, some people going on the wets, some people going on the inters there at the end. Was it inter weather or was it in a stage where it's between, wets and inters and it's a gamble there?
I felt like it was inters all the way because I sort of ran a lap, then came in so I can get another set and hopefully be faster. And it ended up so
Yeah,
got up there and yeah, it was inters, so it was pretty good.
yeah. From our point of view, it looked like mixed conditions, so I thought, just wanted to check in to see what the driver perspective was. Uh, Going to the race, the first stint, I believe you were in the softs. You were keeping up with the top three there. Good battling between you, Hood, Spanini, and Big Mama Frank. Second stint probably didn't go your way. You lost the top three there, but you were able to bring the car home and finish P3. What was going on there? Why weren't you able to keep up like with the top three? And yeah, just wanted to know why did you opt for the one stop instead of the two stop, unlike your teammate.
Yeah, they were definitely faster, so I just couldn't keep up. And I figured just staying on the hards the rest of the race would give me my best shot at getting a podium, and that's where I finished. So ended up pretty well.
Did you end up going for a wet setup or a dry setup, if I may ask?
I went with the dry setup because I saw it was going to be dry in the race. So
Gotcha. Anyway, congratulations. Zenki, any further questions?
Well, truthfully, I think you covered everything there. I'll just say congrats on the podium and another great race under your belt.
thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah, I believe you're still leading the championship, so looking forward to seeing what you can do in Silverstone. So, uh, as we move to our P2 finisher, Hood Kool-Aid Man. Hood Kool-Aid Man, how are you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, uh, coming into the race, looked like you had some good pace, especially in the first and second stint. Um, we saw Big Mama Frank and your teammate, who were on the hards as well, like you. do a one stop, but you opted for going into the pits and getting putting on fresh set of mediums. Was that because you had that 3 second time penalty and you thought, okay, maybe the fresh set of mediums will help you get Big Mama Frank and then build up that 3 second gap?
Uh, yes and no. It was because of the 3 second because whenever I saw that okay, Spumini had pitted for the sauce, and then I knew I didn't know if they was gonna stay on hard or if I was, and I saw that okay, if Spumini caught up, I wasn't getting a podium, so I made a decision to just pit and then play catch up
Interesting there. Why did you opt for the mediums instead of the softs though?
because I saw that the tire wear was really bad. Like it says that the mediums last 16 laps, but they really lasted like 10, 12. So pit at lap 20 with a 28 lap race, 8 laps of mediums instead of maybe 6 laps on sauce. Because as you saw, Bonini fell off completely
Yeah, he
towards
was.
the end.
Yeah, he was catching, but unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to catch up enough. And I think even in the first stint, when or sorry, the second one after the round of pit stops under the safety car, he did pull away, but you were able to get him back into your DRS fairly quickly. I believe he was at the softs and you were in the hards at that time. So yeah, overall I think looked like a good race. Unfortunate that you had that 3 second time penalty, but another P2 following P2 in Portugal, right? If I'm not mistaken. So a good comeback to racing for you. Congratulations. Any further questions there, Zenki?
I'm gonna be completely honest. Again, you stole the one question that I had in mind, but I'll just say, Kool-Aid, you joined the VC pre-race and said you were feeling good, and my God, the guy was not lying.
For sure.
Thank y'all.
Congratulations. Let's move on to our race winner, Big Mama Frank. Hello. Congratulations. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, so comeback race for you. I believe your first race in a long time here in Contest to Speed. How did you feel coming back with the victory? You had a good strategy going in. I believe you had a decent enough qualifying as well. Yeah, how did it feel coming back and racing with these guys again?
Well, it was nice that we only had one safety car. The last time I was around, I think we still had no ghosting and standard safety car and standard damage. So every race was about 3 or 4 safety cars guaranteed. So there wasn't really strategy. It was just who can be in the right spot at the during the last safety car. So it was nice to come here. I mean, this is a really good, like a really great league and a great community. So I'm glad that the racing is going to be a little bit more straightforward now. And I really enjoyed that race. That was fun. Those guys, both those Red Bulls were quite quick, and it was I had to push pretty hard to try to keep my place at the end.
Yeah, for sure. The Red Bulls looked quite good, but you were a step above them tonight. Uh, I just wanted to ask, when you saw Hood Kool-Aid Man and Spanini go into the pits, did you think for a second there, did you want to pit at all at that time, or were you like, no, I'm gonna take this to the end of the race because they were catching up fairly quickly, but not quite at the end. But at that moment, you must have been thinking, should I go for another pit stop or should I not? What was your thinking process there of not going eventually?
We since the two cars that were behind, or the two cars that were still kind of in play with me, were both Red Bulls. I was basically forced to kind of commit to staying out. Had the other Red Bull pit, then I would have had the opportunity to pit also. The issue was if I decide to pit after he pit, there's a possibility I'm going to have to pass both the Red Bulls again. And we kind of saw early on in the race, or in the first half of the race, that the Red Bulls worked together pretty well. It seemed like they wanted to not push as hard as they could, save battery, and put themselves in positions to fight and not lose each other. I think they had an idea if they could be next to each other in the order that they might be able to DRS swap and pull away from the rest of the field. It seemed like also after the safety car when we were all on hards, we kind of pulled away from the second Red Bull. I apologize, I'm still not familiar with everyone's name yet. I think
Yeah.
Electroblade.
Yeah.
We pulled away from him, we yapped him, but I knew that, or it seemed like a little bit like the other Red Bull was not necessarily pushing as hard as he could. He may have been trying to slow me up a little bit to pull his teammate back into the fight. So I kind of got the feeling that if I had pit, then the 1v2 fight may have been a bit difficult. So I decided to stay out.
Yeah, in the end, it proved to be the right decision. Even if Hood Kool-Aid Man did manage to get a move on you in the last lap, well, I don't think he had enough time to open up that 3 seconds. So, uh, anyway, congratulations on that victory. Zenki, any further questions for our race winner here tonight?
I guess I would just, a lot of the guys we were talking about the tire wear and the strategy and stuff like that. What were your hards at in those dying laps?
I can actually look for you right now. They were.
Just as
I think they
looking
were.
down the pack, a lot of guys were falling off, but you seem to be able to manage them fairly well there up in the lead, and were one of the only hard runners not to just fall off a cliff.
They were something just under 70%. So I think the rears were about 68.
Fair enough. Well, congrats. Good win. Great race from you. A lot of battling. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah, you did really well to fend off those Red Bulls there at the end, so congratulations. With that being said, I guess that's it for tonight. So, closing thoughts, Zenki.
Efforts, the over still hit. A lot of fun, a lot of hard battling. I think it was a great night.
Yeah, I think with only one safety car, like Big Mama Frank said, we have moved into a reduced safety car model with ghosting on. So, everybody kept it fairly clean today. It was nice to see not a lot of incidents. I think even the safety car that came out was because of a mistake from the Alfa Romeo of Kane. So overall, I thought it was a good race, a good battle of strategies. And at the end of the day, it was a good fight to the end. But yeah, Big Motor Frank was able to pull off a one-stopper and get that win. So yeah, I think with that being said, we can go ahead and end the stream. But before we do that, to everybody who's watching, if you've not given us a follow here on Twitch, do remember to do that. We have EU1 tomorrow at 9 p.m. UK, and that I believe is 4 p.m. Eastern, and then AM1 at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that I believe is 2 a.m. UK time. And we also are going to be in Silverstone next week, same time at 9 p.m. Eastern for AM2. So yeah, make sure you give us a follow on Twitch and also join the Discord and come join us for some action on track. With that being said, I'm Red Devil, and I'm gonna sign off. So, see you all next week. Have a great day.